We do not accept and we reject this statement by France because the anti-terror measures that Azerbaijan started yesterday, that also lasted during 24 hours, these are the measures that have been taken in response to the large-scale military provocations by the illegal armed forces deployed in the Azerbaijani Karabakh region and unfortunately supported during last years by the government of Armenia. So this was the legal and legitimate operation that Azerbaijan started, anti-terrorist measures, I would like to underline, because we have been said that despite the fact that a trilateral statement have been signed as a result of the 44-day war in 2020, Armenia took an obligation and commitment to withdraw all its forces from Azerbaijani territories, but it did not implement this commitment, and we have been continuously declaring that all last 3 years that we still have nearly 10,000 illegal armed forces on our sovereign territory, and these armed forces, they pose a threat to the security of Azerbaijan, to the security of all civilian population. It was also a threat for the reconstruction works that we have been carrying after the liberation of all our territories. So we reject these allegations against Azerbaijan.
But Ambassador, you're calling this an anti-terror operation, but there are a lot of just normal, everyday people in Nagorno-Karabakh who are terrified right now, who don't know what their lives are going to look like.
I would absolutely agree with you that we have to differ between the ordinary civilians, Karabakh residents, Armenian residents of Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, and the radical separatist group. So we're absolutely differing those two things because generally, those Armenian residents of the Karabakh region, we consider them as our citizens. And even it has been declared at the highest level by the president of Azerbaijan that we consider them as the citizens of Azerbaijan. Of course, all the rights, all the security guarantees will be guaranteed by the constitution of Azerbaijan. And plus, if you're speaking about the rights of all Armenians, we say that Azerbaijan is a multi-ethnic, multi-confessional country where we have representatives of different ethnic minorities living in peace. And of course, we also have Armenians living on Azerbaijani territory. Even before the conflict of 2020, we had 30,000 Armenians living in Azerbaijan. And currently, there is an exaggeration about the population in the Karabakh. If they say it's 120,000, but in reality, maximum it's 60,000 people, and 10,000 among them are those illegal Armenian forces. And of course, it's
still a lot of people to be
It's still a lot of people, of course,
and
it's Azerbaijan and the constitution, the laws of Azerbaijan will guarantee all the rights of these people. And unfortunately, these people have been hostage in the hands of these illegal radical separatists.
But how can they know that their security is guaranteed? Like, what kind of guarantees can you give them?
Well, that is why we have proposed already from the start of this year to have a dialogue between the Armenian residents of Karabakh and the central authorities of Azerbaijan. This year, we already had once a meeting took place, but after all, the 2 times the proposals, the invitation of Azerbaijan have been rejected. We are for the dialogue. We are for the discussion of all these issues, and it's a good news that it is already a couple of hours ago, we had the meeting, a dialogue between the representatives of the Armenian residents of Karabakh and central authorities of Azerbaijan, special envoy of the president, and it was quite a constructive meeting.
I want to ask you, you know as well as I do that local Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, they do not trust, whether you agree or not, they do not trust the authorities in Baku. They do not trust Ilham Aliyev when he says again and again that he will safeguard their rights. They simply don't trust. Would Azerbaijan, would your president be open to a mechanism beyond Russian peacekeepers that could help ensure that these rights are safeguarded? I'm not questioning the commitment of the president, your president, to safeguarding their rights. I'm asking, though, given the lack of trust, could we see something like we've seen in Cyprus, a UN force that's been there for 50 years? Abkhazia, a UN civilian mission was there as well, alongside Russian peacekeepers. would that be acceptable to Azerbaijan?
Well, it's natural that there is a lack of trust today because we had 3 decades of hostility.
Right.
We had fact of occupation of Azerbaijani territories. We had nearly 1 million Azerbaijanis who became refugees and IDPs who suffered. We had even the fact of 613 Azerbaijani civilians killed in one night. So it's quite natural that currently there is a lack of trust, and we know that it will take time to gain trust.
But therefore, would Azerbaijan, would your president be open to an international mechanism that's not just Russian peacekeepers to safeguard those rights, given what you say is the understandable lack of
let's
trust?
be clear. We're speaking about the sovereign territory of Azerbaijan. And this is not what I am saying as the ambassador. This is what the international law says. And international community recognizes and respects, including France, by the way, the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. So, Karabakh is an integral part of Azerbaijan. It's a fact that we have Armenians living in Karabakh. It's a fact that we don't have any problem for different minorities, among them Armenians living.
But there have been 3 wars since the early 90s,
there have been
so there obviously is a problem there.
There was a problem, and that's why we are trying to settle those problems. That's why we say that dialogue is the best way. That's why we have been proposing all these years to have this dialogue between the representatives.
I'm sorry to press the question, but I'm just trying to understand. Does that mean that Azerbaijan would not, unlike, say, Cyprus or the Balkan nations or Abkhazia, be open to the idea of an international peacekeeping mission?
Well, let me be clear. This is the sovereign territory of Azerbaijan.
So no.
And we are open for the dialogue. It will be a direct dialogue between the central authorities of Azerbaijan and Karabakh Armenian residents. So there is no need.
You cannot say at this time whether you would be open to the idea, not whether the Russian peacekeepers stay or not, having an international mission that might foster more trust.
We are pretty much sure that we can have all these problems eliminated if we have this dialogue continuing between the two. And let me also stress that today, as a result of the meeting that took place, it was quite constructive, and the representatives of Armenian residents, they said that they lack fuel, they lack alimentation, and Baku representative, we responded positively. So soon we will send fuel, soon we will send alimentation that the Armenian residents are in need. So it means that there are positive results. It means that Armenians and Azerbaijanis can live together. In fact, we are living together. So we just had artificial problems in the Karabakh region created by some forces. And we think that the fact that we won extremism in our Karabakh region, it will also have a positive implication for the general peace process.
I want to finally ask, there have been Armenian politicians and international groups that have called this a potential genocide. That's a huge allegation, obviously, but I want to get your reaction to that.
Well, this is absolutely baseless. Let me put it this way. If that would be the case of genocide, I'm asking you a question. Why Armenia did not bring this case in front of the International Court of Justice? If that would be a case of so-called genocide, because it's obvious that it is not a genocide. You cannot accuse a country on a genocide.
But could it become one? Maybe it's not at this moment or hasn't been in the past, but could it become one?
Well, again, we have liberated our territories. Now we are reconstructing those liberated territories. The intention is to bring back IDPs to those territories. The intention is to give the opportunity for Armenians and Azerbaijanis to live together in peace in Karabakh. We declared that we consider them as the citizens of Azerbaijan, and the constitution will guarantee all the rights. We are interested in peace and normalization. So why do you think that in this case Azerbaijan should be interested in a so-called genocide? I
think when the word reintegration is used, a lot of people get scared that means that they're going to have to either leave or completely change their lives or face potentially fatal consequences.
That is why we need dialogue. So those people, they just lack information, as I said.
They lack a lot of power also.
They have been the hostage in the hands of those radical separatists. So that's why we think that from now on there is an opportunity to continue this dialogue. So those Armenians will feel secure, while Armenians will feel themselves the benefits that they can get being the citizen of Azerbaijan.
Unfortunately, we have to leave it at there, but I really, Ambassador, thank you so much for your time and joining us here on France 24.